bikes. Initially, I think he felt he bit off way more than he could chew. Cal was a race winner, a World Supersport champion, race winner in World Superbikes, came here with a big reputation to Tech 3 Yamaha in 2011, and he needed the guidance of a Colin Edwards, who we had on the opposite side of that Tech 3 garage, and I think that stuck. That help and advice that he got from Colin really did stick. So I think, you know, Cal is going to be a great ally. He will not keep secrets from Taka Nakagami. Any help that he can give Taka over these next few months, Cal Crutchlow will do that. Dylan.
Guys, yeah, let me bring you down to pit lane. I'm stood outside the Pramac garage and I've just run into Piero Taramasso from Michelin. Piero, as the bike's going out, some bikes have finished for today, others back out on track. You told us you had some new compounds to test on the rear. Have many more riders been able to test them today?
Yeah, we have 2 new compounds, one soft, one hard. Unfortunately today track temperature is not very high, so we cannot test the hard one. Yesterday Valentino tried the soft, and today again the soft. They tested the 2 Lorenzo and Dovizioso. Jack just came in with this tire, and then we had Alex Rins and Cal Crutchlow, they try also. And we wait for Zarco, also he said he will do before the end of the session. At this moment we have some good results and some bad results. It looks like the difference is not so big, so there is maybe a little bit more grip in this new compound, but it seems like the degradation is more. It seems like that after 10 laps you feel more drop off. So we have to wait and see at the end tonight if we have more results, and then check all the data. But so far it looks like no big difference.
I mean, of course, you're testing this tyre here at Valencia, a track with a certain characteristic. Will you be taking those tyres to the private test in Jerez next week?
Yeah, maybe if at the end of tonight, you know, the results looks good. Yeah, we can do something for the Jerez test. Check there. We needed to find if it's good in different place to validate it. But Jerez, the main objective is to check the new asphalt. You know, they make the new asphalt, so we want to see if the wear level, if the grip level is much more compared to before.
Finally, Piero, from all the things which you're learning at this test, are we going to see lots of new tyres brought to the Sepang test, or this year are you trying to keep more of a consistent level?
Yeah, we will continue with the strategy to do very little test, slow down the development to keep a more stable range of tire. In Sepang, we will bring just 2 new front compound. This is hard compound for hot condition, for very abrasive track. So that will be for the beginning of the season, for Argentina, for Austin race, for example, and we will test that in Sepang and in Thailand.
Piero, thank you very much for that.
Thank you to Piero, thanks to Dylan there as well. Well, it looks like, talking of tyres, Matt, some softer rubber might have gone in underneath the Italian Franco Morbidelli, because he's just improved his time rather dramatically. Yeah, Franco Morbidelli has found about half a second straight out of the gate here. A 1:31.786 then from the reigning Moto2 World Champion on his 48th lap. That's cut his deficit to Marc Marquez down to under 1.5 seconds. That's actually really impressive. Let's not forget, Franco Morbidelli will have no experience whatsoever of going out in time attack mode, going gung-ho, pulling the pin on Michelin's soft rear tyre. So to straight away, quite early on, find half a second, that's a top job. Yeah, it really is. And Takaaki Nakagami also on a personal best lap as we speak as well, and might well be going across the line to improve, and does, a 32.6 for him. So he improves as we now see Vinales at the end of his run. Now his teammate Valentino Rossi is out there on the 2017 Aero bike. This is turn 13 Maverick. Just finishing off on the Cal Crutchlow thing before we carry on, Matt, as well. That's a really nice touch I saw in the paddock, and this just goes to show you that whatever you might sometimes see and hear from Cal, the big heart thing comes through once more. A number of journalists within the paddock have received a gift from him. I believe that you've probably been in that party before as well, and that is a really nice touch, because that is not something that would happen to anyone else. Just explain exactly what's gone on there. Yeah, I mean, every single day of every Grand Prix, the riders have to conduct media debriefs with TV journalists and certainly with the written press.
And Cal Crutchlow, no exception. He talks to the media Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, whether he's had a great day, whether he's had an off day, a bad day or a shocking day. But Cal Crutchlow always turns up to speak to the media. And for those journalists that have gone to see him on a repeated basis, whether he's top of a practice session or whether he's 21st, Cal Crutchlow rewarding with them, a special replica helmet, a Cal Crutchlow replica helmet, worth a few bob as well. I saw a few journalists, very, very grateful and very happy to receive that gift from Cal Crutchlow. I too, I must admit, back in 2011, the end of Cal's very, very difficult rookie year, was the lucky recipient of a gift from Cal Crutchlow. And I said, oh mate, you don't have to do that, blah, 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 when I was working with Motorcycle News back in the day. And he said, well, it's just a token of my appreciation, because he said, I had such a terrible year. You were the only person that used to come and speak to me every day. But yeah, Cal Crutchlow, I do think occasionally can be a little bit misunderstood, because we do know Cal. He does like to dish out a few barb comments. He likes to generate a bit of publicity and create a bit of controversy in the paddock. But that's part of what makes Cal Crutchlow tick. That's why people like him, because he's not scared to say what he thinks.
No, well, he's a bit of a wind-up merchant at times, but he's great value. I mean, the times we've had social media questions this year, the press conference has been a brighter place, thanks to Cal Crutchlow.
Exactly.
Right, well, with an hour and 6 minutes to go, Valentino Rossi starting to close in. This is the new aero package, Matt, so that's looking a bit better. Still not into the 130s yet, but...
Dylan, we know that Andrea Dovizioso's already packed up because he was really good enough to come and talk to you. Has there been any indication from any of the teams and riders that somebody might go for glory, try and get that headline-grabbing lap time in this final hour or so?
At the moment, we're not seeing anyone go out on that softer option rear. I remember last year, actually, quite a few people were reluctant to do so because it kind of interrupted their testing cycle, so to speak. I will keep an eye out now, but as we know, Michelin just telling us that there are some riders still testing their new soft option tyre, which we know has more grip and more drop-off, as Piero Taramasso said. The only slight downside is, and it's a bit of a shame for the TV viewers and myself, it's not painted with a white line on the side.
Thanks for that, Dylan. We're looking at Valentino Rossi here, about to post another fastest laps, 9th quickest in the session so far. So perhaps Valentino just trying to squeeze a fast one in here towards the end.
Yeah, interesting there, wasn't it? Listen to Piero Taramasso, the new boss of Michelin, of course, with Nicolo Guber stepping aside after the Valencian Grand Prix. A long and distinguished career for Nicolo Guber, 28 years, I believe, he spent in Michelin. Crucial in their recent success in 2- and 4-wheel motorsport, Nicolo Guber. So we wish him well in his new venture, of course, heading up the new electric racing series for Dorna in the future. Rossi is on the move, isn't he?
30.9 then for the Italian. Marc Marquez now heading out on circuit. Brand new slick, that was.
He's definitely out on brand new rubber, isn't he? Yeah, crucial test, as I was saying, Piero Taramasso. Jerez with that new surface, Steve. That's going to be a really important 2 days next week as they try and get some crucial information on the new surface ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix next year. Yeah,
that will be a crucial test. And we heard from Dovizioso, it'll be crucial for them as well, because it's another tight and twisty circuit, and traditionally one that, Andrea Dovizioso hasn't performed that well at before. Seeing a replay here of Valentino then, still out on circuit. In fact, he's just made it into pit lane now. Pretty much every single rider, according to my time screen. Oh no, it says in on our time screen. I think there might be a bit of an error there with our time screens here in the commentary box at the moment, because as you can quite clearly see on your screens, Valentino Rossi still circulating. So will anyone challenge the 30.2 in this session, or ultimately the 30.189 that Maverick Vinales set yesterday? That's the question. I'd be rather surprised, Matt, if someone didn't fancy a pop at it. Although, if they're going to do it, they'd want to do it pretty quickly, because these days do set in quite fast. Dylan.
And this is quite interesting, Steve, because you managed to spot it absolutely right. Valentino Rossi, before we came on this break, before Lucio Cecchinello was talking to us, Valentino Rossi was exclusively working on two 2016 chassis machines. Now, Maverick Vinales, he earlier on was running the 2017 chassis with the aero package as well. But Valentino Rossi, the run he's done right now, that is with the 17 chassis plus what you might call the 18 style fairing.
They can't say that they're going to be leaving this Valencia test, Yamaha engineers, armed with a wealth of data and information, because they've had Johan Zarco, Valentino Rossi and Maverick Vinales out on all kinds of different combinations. It's been actually hard to keep track on exactly what they're running.
Valentino doesn't look like he's going to be stopping for long either.
Looks like it's a bit of a qualifying mode set up here, isn't it, for Rossi?
Taking on some water, wiping himself down.
Any shiny new fresh rubber going into the rear of that Yamaha, Dylan?
Yes, there is some shiny new rubber going in there, and I must confess I made a mistake, as the replay that I saw I don't think was from this particular run out, because I have to correct myself, I apologise, he is on the 2016 chassis with the aero package on.
Well, to be honest, I can't. It's very difficult to keep up, so I'm not surprised that we've all got it wrong on a few occasions. Cal Crutchlow has come back into the garage with just over an hour left, bike in as well. That's the 2018 spec machine. I'm sure he's pretty happy with that. A 30.6, his fastest time of the day. And I must admit, I'm quite grateful to Lucio Cecchinello, because I hadn't taken too much notice of the speed charts until he brought it up.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it, by Lucio Cecchinello. What's going on here with Cal Crutchlow? Just running wide at the first corner.
Ah, is that Takaki just up ahead of him? Are you going to have a look at him?
It is, yeah. There we go. Well, there's your case in point straight away about how Cal Crutchlow will do everything within his powers to try and accelerate the progress of this young man, Takaki Nakagami, who's a hugely likeable character himself. A bit quietly spoken, but interesting to see how he gets on next year when he faces up against Morbidelli and Tom Luthi again.
An hour calling. Nakagami crosses the line here and goes up into 18th. That's his fastest time of the weekend so far, 32.3.
And of course, Steve, Taka Nakagami, we know next season will be on the 2017 spec RC213V, which Cal Crutchlow raced throughout this year. So Taka Nakagami will be able to pour and scour over data, as Marc Marquez, we saw him go out on fresh rubber. He's barely got it up to temperature, and here we go. Straight away, he's on test-topping pace here, Marquez, spinning that rear tyre through turn number 9. 1:32.88 is the best lap time we've seen so far this week from Marc Marquez.
We could be seeing a lap here well under 1:30. It's going to be an hour 29, was it?
8:97
was the fastest time. That was the pole time at the weekend. He roars this Repsol Honda around the final corner. He is definitely wanting to prove a point here that he is world champion, and that isn't going to change going up towards Christmas as he exits the final turn. Marc Marquez then, what has he got in his locker room here? A 1:30, just loses out a bit, but a 1:30.037 nonetheless. That's the fastest time of the two-day test so far, and I very much doubt he's finished there, Matt.
No, he's not finished, is he? He's on it again. Hard on the brakes into turn number 2. No dramas through that tight left-hander for Marquez through this fast kink through turn 3, then hard on the brakes into turn number 4. We pick up his teammate, Dani Pedrosa.
Rather typically, our time screens have gone kaput at the moment, so we've not got any sector times other than what you're looking at on your screen, so we'll follow that for now. Pedrosa also on the charge then, as well as his teammate Marc Marquez.
This may well be moving Pedrosa up inside the top 3 if he carries this one through. He clicks sector 3 now. He's lost another 10th in that third sector, Pedrosa. Yeah, so he's just going to miss out possibly on that top 3. Estimated position 4th. Marquez, as you can see there on your screens, not improving as yet, but he's only just under a 10th outside of where he needs to be. About to come through sector 3 himself. Rossi's just gone 5th, 1:37.24. So we're into the final hour here, and it is starting to liven up in terms of soft tyre attacks. Pedrosa then goes 2nd. He did find time in that 4th sector, 1:34.360. He was really strong in that 4th sector in the Grand Prix here, wasn't he? Just a few days ago, Dani Pedrosa, when he pipped Johan Zarco to win the final round of the season.
Onto the start-finish straight again then for Marc Marquez. Quickest time so far. Will he dip into the 1:29s with this one? No, not quite, but he is just marginally quicker again. And so let's have another go, says Marc Marquez. His father looks on with a smile. This might force a couple others out of the garage in a moment, just for a little play.
He's not going to sleep tonight. He's going to be cross with himself if he doesn't get a 1:29 here, isn't he, Marc Marquez? That's what he's out there for. He wants a 1:29. He wants to beat that pole time, a 1:29.897. It was the only 1:29 lap we saw throughout the Valencia Grand Prix weekend. second qualifier was Johan Zarco with a 1:32.46. So
it won't be on this lap. He's rolled out of this one. Will he have another go, or will he pull into pit lane? A 30.033, then the fastest time of the test so far. Valentino Rossi here. He put on some fresh rubber. He's now coming up to turn number 14 and onto the home straight. He's half a second down at the moment. And 1:30.724 is Rossi's best today. 1:30.8 there for the number 46. And elsewhere, well, it's hard to know what's going on because still nothing from the time screen, sadly.
So it's as you were in terms of your podium finishes in the top 3 here today in this test. Marquez third in the race on Sunday to win the world title. Danny Pedrosa, your race winner, and Johan Zarco, the runner-up. Then your top 3. Dylan, back to you.
Yeah, guys, let me just bring you down to a pit lane. I'm here with Scott Redding. Scott, really unfortunate crash. First of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. We was just on the limit with the hard front tyre, really, with the temperature dropping off. I thought we'd just get one more exit out of it, but it looked like the temperature was just dropping too much, so yeah, a bit unfortunate. I'm okay. I'll try with the bike 2 now with the soft front and see.
So now you're going to go for the time attack, or is it still just not take it easy, but of course just try and get a rhythm?
Not really. You know, I'm not interested in this test for time attack. Going to practice some starts and leave it at that, I think.
Okay. Well, Scott, thank you very much. Good to hear you're okay.
I love the fact that the 2 Repsol Honda riders have just obviously worked so hard on testing all sorts of things, and then the pair of them have just gone out and just want to kind of remind everyone who we are and what we do. A couple of laps out, first and second, and park it back up again. It's like the Repsol Honda Evolve. This is.
Yeah, 1:37 and a couple of 1:30.0s from Marquez. That 3 laps he fired in on that soft Michelin rear tyre. His last lap was 0.04 of a second better than the previous one as the shutters come down for the time being. Don't think we've seen the last of this man so far on your screens in 2017. He's going to get out there. He wants that 1:29, just a sound sign off 2017, ramming home his advantage again. We're saying, think about that one for the next 3 months, boys.
We live in a world where watching a rider drag his elbow slider along rumble strips just seems normal.
The norm, yeah. Well, you can get just as much smoke out of that brand new soft rear tyre as you could out of the old versions. Look at that.
That is incredible. Great footage. Absolutely brilliant footage.
He loves those left-handers, doesn't he, Marquez? Spends most of his life when he's not on a MotoGP bike on a dirt track somewhere in the world. And that's why he loves anti-clockwise circuits. He loves left-handers. That's why nobody can lay a glove on him in the Saxon Ring in Germany, where it's all about left, left, left. So 9 runs or full runs then Marquez has done today.
Look at that run 6, Matt.
Yeah. Every single lap apart from his out lap in the 1:30s. Look at it for consistency. 1:38, 1:37, 1:36, 1:37, 1:38.
Goodness me. A 1:30.5, then again. That's
God, if only
1:30.5.
If only he had the consistency to match the speed sometimes, eh? I mean, blimey. That's pretty impressive.
Horrible.
Yeah, that run 9, of course, was on that soft tyre. Yeah, run 6 and 7 will have people running for cover if the race was here again next weekend. That was brilliant by Marc Marquez.
There'll be some people that would have thought by the end of today they've had a good day until they just saw that graphic. I'm sure that has just made them feel rather real.
There were 6 or 7 laps there that were all 1:35s in a row.
Yeah.
Guys, keep an eye out now on Jack Miller, just about to head out of pit lane. He's going to try the Ducati aerodynamic fairing for the first time.
Well, we'll keep an eye on him then. Jackass is out there with the new aerodynamic fairing. So far, what we've seen of Jack on the Ducati has been very impressive. Yesterday, he posted a 1:30.6. Today, he's posted a 1:30.8, despite missing 3 hours of the session due to a crash at the start of the day.
Well, there's Maverick Vinales. This test for him has not been about trying to get the headline grabbing top time. This has been all about trying to work out a way of making that factory Yamaha a more competitive package than what it was certainly in the second half of 2017, where his championship challenge really did fall away. He's tried 2016 chassis, 2017 chassis, 2018 engines, 2017 bodywork, 2018 bodywork. Rossi, Zarco and Vinales' brain probably frazzled right now, the information they've had to digest and then feed back to their engineers.
And a couple more laps here for Maverick Vinales, and between him, Valentino Rossi and Johan Zarco, it will be 200 laps that they've completed here today, trying to work out the right direction to go in. Are we going to see a push here from Maverick Vinales? He's just 700ths down in Sector 1, maybe not challenging Marc Marquez, but...
Yeah, well, in Malaysia in 2 weeks' time, there'll be, I would imagine, the same test going for Vinales, Rossi and Zarco. They will be constantly back-to-back comparing the 2016 chassis with the 2017 version. Before then, they rely on Yamaha's racing department back at Iwata in Japan to come up with, punch the numbers in, crunch the numbers, and then come up with what they hope will be a better chassis in 2018 when we resume hostilities at Sepang at the end of January. There will be no 2018 prototype chassis for these guys to test in Malaysia. They want another test where they can back-to-back. It's a good idea, actually, because they can run back-to-back comparisons with recent data from the Malaysian Grand Prix. Stevens Vinales just firing a PB lap, a 1:36.40. Yamaha have got recent data from the Grand Prix in Malaysia to go there in 2 weeks' time and back-to-back the 2016 and 2017 chassis, which would be pretty handy for them. And of course, very, very handy for them as well, is to go back with the 2018 version to the same circuit in January, because then they'll know whether they have made any progress. So it's a pretty sensible tactic actually by Yamaha to go to Malaysia in a couple of weeks' time. They did the exact same thing last year as well, but when they're trying to finalise their prototype chassis for next year, they are going to at least have good information and data to refer to.
They're just going to hope that the weather plays a decent role for them, because in an ideal world they'll want the weather to sort of be exactly the same in 2 weeks' time as it is at the end of January. These guys don't get a lot of break. I'm sure you're probably at home wondering, well, do these guys actually rest at any point? Well, there is a testing ban, isn't there? So they do get, I don't know, it's probably not a lot more than 6 weeks off, maybe a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you usually find that after a long and punishing, draining season like it has been, after next week's test in Jerez, probably most of those guys will slow down their training, but they might just take 1 week, 10 days, or maximum 2 weeks out of their training schedule, and then it's straight back into it.
Yeah, no stopping here for these guys. It is a part of their life. They're here for a reason, and they have to continue training throughout the winter, even if they do take a few days off to pull some crackers and eat some turkey. So here is Jack Miller then with that. Sorry, Jack Miller. That's Scott Redding on the Aprilia. Jack Miller's time is at the bottom of the screen with the aero package. Across the line for his first lap with that on, at 31.9 for him.
Well, Miller was already pretty happy, pretty delighted with front end stability from that factory Ducati. Well, with the downforce of that aero package, that's designed to give him even more front end feeling. So it'll be interesting a bit later on to listen to Jack's feedback and comments now he's out there on the aero package.
It's only 1500ths down in Sector 1. Drops it into turn number 5.
Yeah, will he be like Petrucci and Dovizioso in the past, who felt like it just makes the bike a little bit too cumbersome in the change of direction? Lorenzo's happy to put up with a lack of agility to give him the extra downforce on the front end that he prefers. He's not too bothered about sacrificing. I think in Malaysia, if you compare Dovizioso and Lorenzo's top speeds down those two straights, Dovizioso was faster on the conventional fairing by about 6 or 7 k's, but Lorenzo perfectly happy to give up that top speed to give him the advantage or the better feeling on the front end going into the corner. So it's all down to personal rider preference, isn't it? I mean, Miller might not be bothered about the fact that he's got to perhaps muscle the bike around a little bit more in the change of direction if it does give him even extra confidence on that front end.
Yeah, as you say, that is purely down to rider feeling and what they prefer. Jack Miller has had a lot to learn over the last 24 hours. Across the line he goes again. It's an improved time on what he just posted a moment ago. Takaki Nakagami in the meantime is taking chunks off his lap time. He's getting closer and closer to a 1:31. There is Fonzie Nieto, not sure on the trousers, but there we go. Nakagami has just gone across the line, a 31.8, and that's only a tenth slower than Morbidelli. So I would say, Matt, that is a good day, a good two-day test for both the rookies that have come up from Moto 2.
The look on Fonzie Nieto's face and the stance he was adopting, I wouldn't like to be trying to get into a nightclub that he was on the door of. Blimey, your name's not down, you're not coming in.
No, he looks like he's about to go in for a weigh-in, doesn't he?
Yeah.
This is the change of direction then that Jack will find a little different with the aero package. Turns 12 and 13, carrying some serious speed there. Nakagami's not done yet either. Oh dear, he's crashed.
Well,
but he was pushing 3/10 up in sector, sorry, 3/10 off. It was a couple of tenths quicker than he'd been in sector 1. And so the airbag gets a christening in his new leathers.
Yeah, well, it was coming. It was inevitable that he was going to be on the floor at some point in his MotoGP career. Get it out of the way. Franco Morbidelli had a tumble at turn 10 this morning. His bike's gone to the perimeter tyre wall, Taka Nakagami. Trying to work out where he is actually on the circuit right now.
Is
he at turn 2? No, is he at
5 or 6, isn't it? Something like that. Let's have a look here. Yeah, this is just as he flicks it.
6, yeah.
Yeah, into 6. Just a bit wide by the looks of things.
Yeah, he was well wide. He's on the curb. On the curb. He might have been braking on the curb there, you know.
Here he is coming around turn number 5 then.
I think he was definitely on the curb, Steve, and he would have had his hand on the brake at the time.
Yeah. Well, he's okay. That's the most important thing. And when you have your first fall in MotoGP, that is exactly what you want. The bike, I'm afraid, isn't. And that is going to be the end of Takaki Nakagami's testing time, I fear. Dylan?
Yeah, guys, I'm lucky enough to be just stood behind the boxes right now. We have Paul Espargaro here doing his media debrief. Well, Paul, despite the little crash, you still look relatively happy. I think one of the things was a new swing arm you were trying today. How did that go?
Yeah, I'm super happy with the result we have done today, especially about the rhythm. It was our weakest point. In one lap, I think we could do quite okay, but then on the rhythm, I was not able to repeat several laps with a 31 low. And after we tried these new things on the bike, and everything have changed. We have done a very good run in the middle, in one very low, and all the laps I have done today was in 31. So I don't know. I mean, it was a big change for us. We feel like this, and I'm super happy with that.
At the end, you did have that slight fall. You had just gone out on what looked like a new rim. Were you testing something new there?
Yeah, something new. It was something related about the mechanics and the fast way to change the front. But yeah, honestly, all the bike is being improved at this test, and we have many things now in for Jerez that we have 3 more days, and yeah, just happy and looking forward to jump again on the bike. We are making big steps this test.
Oh, Paul, thank you very much and good luck in Jerez.
Such a great guy, Paul Espargaro.
I just love listening to Paul. He's just so upbeat. Such a live wire, isn't he? He just sees the positives in absolutely every situation. Paul Espargaro. A lot to admire about that young man. And certainly on track this year when you think what he's done on that KTM RC16. Made his Grand Prix debut, of course, at this circuit with Mika Kallio 1 year ago. Qualified at the back of the grid, didn't finish the race with electrical problems, yet here we are, fast forward 12 months. And Bradley Smith and Paul Espargaro were fighting for the top 10 here last weekend. Here's a lap summary for Maverick Vinales, possibly. We were looking at the... Changed our minds. What about Franco Morbidelli? Is he going out for another soft tyre attack? Practice start this, isn't it, for Franco Morbidelli by the looks of it?
In the middle of pit lane. I'm not sure if that's going to go down all that well, but Dani Pedrosa's exiting pit lane as well. Franco's had a little play then with the practice start, as Takaki Nakagami did yesterday.
Yeah, he's doing 0 to 60 a little bit quicker than what he was doing on a Moto 2 bike, that's for sure. .57 laps then so far today for this man Valentino Rossi. Best of the day, 1:37.24, just under 7/10 of a second slower than Marc Marquez. They won't be worried about lap times. They're what's going to be coming in 3 months' time in Malaysia. There'll be constant communication between Rossi and the team base in Milan and then back in Iwata, just to understand exactly what the Yamaha engineers are prepping for Sepang at the end of January. There'll be a lot of focus and attention on what they've delivered for Valentino Rossi and for Maverick Vinales, Steve, but also how they will support the Tech 3 Yamaha team next year with Joe and Zarco. Will Zarco turn up to Malaysia in January, basically with no choice but to run, as is usual for the Tech 3 Yamaha team, year-old machinery. I don't think Zarco will be too upset about that, but it'll be interesting to see if they have brought him closer back into the fold by giving him full factory kit.
Just looking there at Valentino Rossi's runs, I mean, it's difficult to really read much into all of this because nearly every run there will have been something different. Tested and tried, a lot of 32s in there, obviously nothing compared to Marc Marquez. His fastest times are 30. Runs 9 and 10 was where he was really trying to push and get a fast lap time in. But in general, I don't think we can read too much into the 1 lap pace of the Yamaha team, as Matt just pointed out. I mean,
see as well, there was quite a few of those stints were quite short, weren't they? Steve, it's been in out, and Vinales just while they're going out and assessing. It's been such a hard work. They must be so mentally fatigued right now after a long old year. This is what their 5th day of riding in the last 6 days as well here in Valencia. So the body's going to be tired, the mind will be tired, yet they're still having to go out there and fire in fast enough lap times to give Yamaha some concise information.
Last run there for Maverick Vinales as well. Yeah, it's confusing for us here.
Typical test runs there though, Steve. You know, normally you hear riders are told to go out and give me 4 flying laps. 4 or 5 flying laps is usually what, you know, the crews and engineers say to riders. That's enough time at full racing speed to get some information and feedback. So busy end to the day for Vinales. I wonder if he's still got soft tyres left to maybe try and go for something that might beat Marc Marquez's 30.033.
Danny Pedrosa's gone out for perhaps one last stint, that's for sure. For what he's trying, we can't be sure, but Danny, of course, looking to help out any way he can. Back-to-back comparisons have been going on over the last 2 days with turns with bikes from the 17 and the new one as well, 2018. Play of him into turn 14, the race winner from Sunday.
Yeah, sounds like from Cal Crutchlow's LCR Honda boss Lucio Cecchinello that Honda have definitely found a little bit of power. It's using it though, isn't it? And Danny Pedrosa finding it hard to get to the ground there as he came out of turn number 14. really sure Honda were in any real desperate need of any more horsepower. They probably would have wanted a little bit more control of what they already had.
Three-tenths down then into sector 2. Not a lot going on elsewhere, I'm afraid. Takahashi's out there. Tomaluti's replacement, and then the Honda test rider, and Scott Redding's out there as well, but he's not really making much movement. 38 minutes left. Most, you would feel, Matt, have probably done their job and finished now.
Yeah, it's looking that way, isn't it? Danny Pedrosa, one of the few riders that's out there circulating. Only Scott